Hey everybody, it's Randy with Randy Reviews and welcome back to my channel. So I'm doing something a little different. I thought it would be fun to do a book review while I twist my hair. So I'm starting on freshly washed and blow dried hair, and I used this intense hydrating oil from Pantene to help with the blow dry. Don't buy this. It ain't doing nothing for us, okay? It say, you see they got an afro on the front. It's supposed to be for all hair types. Yeah, it ain't doing too much of nothing. I would rather use like some, what is it, Biofuse? What's that called? Something else. Go to Sally's, get the Chi or the Bio 10, Biofuse, whatever. Another type of blow drying oil, because this ain't doing nothing, ain't hydrating nothing. But anyway, I'm going to do, I think I'm gonna do some flat twists because that's usually what takes the shortest amount of time. And I'm going to be using this Shea Moisture Intensive Hydration Leave-In Conditioner. Then I'm going to do the Coconut Curling Cream. And I'm going to use a little bit of Wetline Extreme Gel. Just a little tiny bit. I bought this big old tub when I had short hair, about this much hair, because this works really well on my short hair. But I don't think I've ever tried it to do like a twisting style. So we shall see. So there's that. The book I want to review is called The Neighbor Favor by Kristina Forrest, I believe. Yes, by Kristina Forrest. And it's a fictional romance type of novel. So let me just start off by saying I am not a romance girl, okay? I read this book as part of my book club. And yeah, so there's that. So take my review with a grain of salt. There will be spoilers, so if you plan on reading this book or interested in reading it and don't want to know what happened, you might as well just skip this video because, you know, I'm spoiling the book. Anyway, so the book is about two people, Nick and Lily. And Nick is actually has a pseudonym. What's the name? Ariel Strickland, something like that. So basically, he's an author. He wrote a book under his pseudonym, Ariel Strickland, but his real name is Nick. So Lily is like his biggest fan. She loved the book. She read the book a million times, blah, blah, blah. She used to work at a bookstore, so that's why she's like heavy into the books and stuff. And so, yeah, she wrote a book, you know, and because the book kind of ended on a cliffhanger, she decided one day while she's reading the book on the subway that she's going to see, you know, what happened to the author. So she looks him up, finds his website. You know how you can go on somebody's website and be like, contact us or whatever. So she sends him an email saying how she loved the book, you know, what's going on, why they ain't write a second part, blase splee. And she said she did it just because, not thinking that he's going to actually respond. So boom, he responds. So they go back. First of all, I read this in the audio. Let me say that. I did an audio book. It was about 10 hours. I fast forward. I do like 1.25. So it took about 8.5 to 9 hours. So the first probably, I'm going to say 3 hours, the first third of the book, they're emailing back and forth for months, you know, giving life updates, whatever have you. Nick, aka RL, is now a traveling blogger or whatever for like a newspaper, and he goes to different countries and stays with people and like, you know, talks about their life or whatever interesting thing is going on in that country. So the whole time that they're like writing back and forth to one another, you know, he's out and about. So sometimes it takes him a minute to kind of respond. So you get these couple times where it's like, okay, what's going on? You know, like she'll say something personal, or she'll say something and then he won't respond, but then he'll be like, oh, I was in Iceland and I didn't have a signal, you know. So it's given like, is he playing games or what? You know, obviously they're going back and forth as far as the narration, so you can kind of get both points of view, which is helpful because otherwise you wouldn't know. Otherwise, you wouldn't know like what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, is he playing games or what? But anyway, he was not playing games. He was actually busy. She is an editor for some type of lifestyle magazine or some crap, but she wants to be a children's book editor and blase splee. So she's telling him all her business. He kind of keeping it short and sweet, honestly. Like, he wasn't really going too deep into his life or anything like that. It was kind of giving like oversharing. Like, she was telling him like, yeah, I just went on an interview, I didn't get the job. Oh, my sister said she's trying to hook me up with this guy and I don't want to go with him. You know, just telling him everything, and he's just like, yeah, that sounds good. Oh, blah 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 blah. So what the turning point, it was hours and hours of them going back and forth. The turning point was her talking about her dating life and basically saying that her sisters be trying to hook her up, you know, with guys that actually like them. And because her sister's like a music executive, so she's already trying to hook her up with like super rich, you know, music guys. And then her other sister is like a some type of, is she a lawyer? I forget. She's something, you know, big or whatever, smart. And so she always trying to hook her up with these smart ass guys who don't have nothing interesting to say. And most of the guys pretty much only going as a pity for her or trying to get in with her sisters. So she's telling him this because she just went on a couple more dates because one of her sisters is getting married and she wants to bring a date to her sister's wedding. So after she tells him this, he's like, you know, well, if we were to ever meet, you know, here's how I would, you know, what type of date I would take you on. And it was like, you know, very romantic and blah, blah, blah. So after that, she's like, okay, you know, okay, RL, you know. She's like, why don't we video chat? Like, we've been talking for like 6 months via email, you know, why don't we video chat? So he agrees. He's like, okay, yeah, let's video chat or whatever. So when it's time, like they set up a date to FaceTime or whatever. When the day comes, he ghosts her. He don't video chat. He ghosts her and basically leaves her hanging. So she's emailing them like, hey, what's up? You know, I thought we was videoing, whatever. And he closes the damn email. Like, he literally closes the account. Like, you're doing a little bit much. You could have just told her, like, sorry, actually, I'm not interested, or I can't do it, or whatever. Instead, he literally just closed the email. So now she's pissed off because she just feeling stupid. Like, okay, maybe I wasn't talking to Ariel. You know, I didn't fell in love with whoever. Who knows, like, who this person is. Blase splee. So she feeling all dumb. And yeah. So fast forward. I don't know how long it is. Let's say another 6 months or whatever. I can't remember. But basically, he decides to go back to being a novelist, and in order to do that, he moves to New York to be closer to his best friend / agent. So when he moves to New York, he moves to an area that she told him about because she lives in New York, and so, you know, she was like, wait, is this New York or LA? New York. I'm pretty sure it's New York. Yeah, because they were talking about Subway and all that. Yeah, it was New York. Anyway, so he moves in the area that they talked about. So, you know, just so happened that she lives her and her sister lives in the same building. Hence the name, The Neighbor Favorite. So the narration is going back and forth between Nick, aka Ariel, and Lily. And basically, Lily has already peeped him multiple times because, in her words, he's finance neighbor. So she don't know him. She don't say nothing to him. She just see him, coming in and out the elevator, whatever have you. So one day, she overhears him talking to a friend in the elevator and kind of joins the conversation. So while they're in the elevator, they kind of hitting it off. Like they eyeing each other or whatever. Like he thinks she's pretty. She's already been infatuated him since the beginning. So this leads to them going to, oh, that's what happened. Yeah, so she's like, I don't know how he ended up going into her apartment. He ended up going to her apartment for something. They first was talking about something else, but then they ended up going to her apartment. So they go into her apartment, and she's like, oh, I gotta feed my cat or whatever. Let me get the stuff. But it was like high up. So then he come and help her, in the kitchen, get the cat food or whatever. And it's like, girl, I guess just turn her all the way on. So they ends up kissing. So boom, they kiss. Now mind you, she don't know, neither one of them know that this is who they have been emailing months before. They just thinking they two neighbors or whatever. But after they kiss, the cat came in and she's like, oh shit, let me feed the cat. So then when she says like, oh, this is Tomcat or whatever, he is like, wait a minute, your cat named Tomcat and your name Lily. He knew her real name already from the email. So he like, your name Lily, your cat named Tomcat. Then he sees a tattoo on her foot. Now she had emailed him a picture of her cat one time, and her foot was in the background. So he saw the tattoo on her foot. So as soon as he saw the tattoo, he like, oh hell no, this the same Lily. So he ready to get the fuck on. So he leave. He, cut the whole situation short. Mind you, they was just kissing like they was about to get it on. And no, he's like, I'm out of here. He leave. She like, okay. So after he done left, she started following him out. Like, hey, we could just be friends. I want you to teach me how to, because that's what it was. When they was in the elevator, he was helping his friend, like, with dating advice or whatever. So she's like, I saw how you helped your friend. I want you to teach me, how to get a date for my sister's wedding. So he trying to get away from her. He like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. Woo do woo. She like, listen, I just want to do this. We can just, forget about the kids and just be friends. I go to IKEA with you, help you find some furniture for your raggedy ass apartment because he ain't got no furniture, and we could just be friends. So he basically can't say no to her because she done got in the cab with him and on the way to IKEA with him and everything. So boom, he agreed. Okay, I'll help you or whatever, which was stupid. It's like, sir, you like her. Y'all was talking for months. Why would you be helping her get another guy to be her date to the wedding? It's not making no sense. So anyway, after all that, they start hanging out. He's supposed to be coaching her like Hitch, to get a date. But in actuality, they just spending time together. They like each other. They just spending time together. There's other little stuff happening that's really null and void to the plot. Like, just whatever. Little pitty pet stuff. The next big thing that happened is he meets her family. So I can't remember if her sister invited her. Oh no, I think she invited her. She invited him. Like, hey, you want to come? To my family house. We do this little annual event or whatever. He like, yeah, for sure. So he go or whatever. He have a good time. He meet all her family. Everybody cool. He play basketball with her cousins. Like they had a little fashion show. Like just wholesome fun. Mind you, at this point we like over halfway into the book. So I'm kind of irritated because I'm like, y'all playing games. Anyway, I guess they live out kind of far. So her mom tell him like, hey, you may as well just stay tonight. It's too late for you to be getting on the subway. I hook you up in the back room. Stay with us. He can't say no because, he a gentleman and shit. He don't want to be rude to her mama. So he stay over, but she also told some other family members they could stay over. So it really wasn't nowhere for him to sleep for real. So he's sleeping in the chair, aka sitting in the chair, not sleeping. So he gets up to go get some water. And when he get up to go get some water, she comes into the kitchen as well. So they looking at family pictures and talking and whatnot. She like, come on, let's go in the room because it's like, everybody sleep in the house and we kind of loud. So they go in the room, they still talking. And he starts talking about his family. So this is like the first time he's like giving her any information. Because mind you, she don't know what he do for a job. She don't know that he R.L. Strickland. She don't know nothing about his life, like his dating life. She don't know nothing about him for real. Or she just like is basically physical at this point because she don't know nothing about him. And she don't know that this is the man she had been talking to for six months prior. So they go in the room and, he tell her some personal stuff about his family. Once he do that, that leads to them getting hot and heavy, honey. This is what I don't like about romances. Like in real life, do that really happen? Like to me, that just be weird. Like if a man starts spilling his heart out, telling me about his family or his upbringing, like on the brink of crying, I'm not gonna be thinking about sex. I don't know. Now if this is somebody that I've been with, maybe, but this like a new guy, I don't know. I don't see myself like getting turned on by that. But anyway, they gets to kissing, humping, hooching, smooching, whatever. But of course, he breaks it off because he like deep down inside know that he, number one, lied to her about who he is, and number two, he ghosted her, those months ago. Woo woo woo. So boom, they stop. Go home the next day. Shit awkward because basically like, he like, I gotta tell her the truth. I'm really falling for her now, so I gotta tell her the truth. So in the meantime, while all this happening, she meets a guy at her job. He giving her R.L. Strickland vibes. Like he from London, so he got an accent. Oh yeah, because that's the thing. R.L. Strickland was supposed to be from London. He from London. He got an accent. He handsome. He posh. He's an author. All of this stuff. Obviously, he's not R.L. Strickland, but that's the vibe that he's giving her. So she's interested. You know what I'm saying? She like, what's up? And he interested too. So soon as he get there, he like, hey, can I take you out? I just moved here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. She like, sure. So she goes back and tells Nick like, hey, yo, your little advice been working out. I got me a date. But he like deep down inside mad because he like falling in love and he already liked her because he know that's the person he had been talking to on the internet. So he just looking like, damn, I done fucked up. So boom. But the guy, oh yeah, that was the thing. The guy wanted to go out with like everybody. It wasn't like a one-on-one date. So she invites him, She invite Nick to go out with her and her coworkers. And the guy that's interested in her, for a little after work, little happy hour situation. So boom, they go or whatever. He come and he acting all awkward and shit. And it's obvious, like, it's obvious that they like each other. So everybody kind of dissipate because they just like, you know, the air is thick. So after they then hung out and stuff and danced and did all this and that, they outside. He like, all right, I gotta tell you, you know. She like, what? What you gonna tell me? He like, I'm Ariel Strickland, and you know, I moved here because of what we talked about. I didn't know you was gonna be here. You know, so she mad as hell. She like, you know, damn, how long have you known that I was Lily, you know, and why you ain't been told me? So he told her, like, you know, I knew after I saw that tattoo and your cat and everything. And the reason I didn't tell you is because I had lied and said you know, my biography said I was like a posh guy from London and this and that, but I'm really not, which was stupid. Like, people make fake identities for these authors all the time. Who cares? Like, that was done for him to lie in the first place. Like, that's what irritated me the whole book. I'm like, you could have been told her, yeah, I'm Ariel. I'm really not from London. Who cares? Like, that was stupid. That wasn't no reason to lie. But anyway, so he finally tell her the truth. And, you know, she pissed, as she should be, because it was like, this was stupid. Why are you playing games? Like, we grown as hell. So, boom, she leave. She cuss him out, leave, whatever. They go their separate ways. And, of course, it's the part of the book where they, oh, we don't know what to do. I love him. I love him, even though he lied to me. But the lie so menial is like, both of y'all need to just get over yourself, for real. So, of course, after who knows how many days, weeks, whatever have you, he tried to make up, you know, he coming over because they live in the same building. So he came to the house like, I bought you some cat food. Oh, what happened was she calls him because Tom Cat is sick or whatever. She like, I need some help. So he go help. You know what I'm saying? He like, this is my opportunity. He go help. After he help, he thinking, all right, we in there. So he show back up or whatever. He like, yeah, I bought you a stool so you can get the food. And I bought Tom Cat some food for whatever was wrong with his stomach or whatever was wrong with the cat, whatever. She like, thank you, bud. Back the hell up. Like, I'm still mad. You know, leave me, give me some space. So he like, all right, cool. That's what he do. In the meantime, she talking to the other old dude or whatever. She go on a date with him, just one-on-one. And when they get to talking, you know, basically he tell her like, you know, I could tell that you like old boy from the bar, so you need to just go on here and get back with him, like, period. Like, you love him, I could tell. Whatever he done did, get over it. Basically is what the man telling her. Put some gel on my edges, on my ends, because they love to be unraveling. I might, actually, what I might do, what I used to do, is not these. Bantu, not the hanging part. Yeah, because that'll make a better hold on the ends. So I do it like that. Anyway, so after she meet up with the coworker, he tell her to make up with the man or whatever. They go ahead and make up. Y'all, this is like hour number 8.5 out of the 10 hours before they finally get together, before they finally make up, have sex, confess their love for each other, forgive each other, or forgive him for lying about being already not about not telling him his real identity. Literally, it's like the book is over. They just not getting together. So the last hour and a half, the last hour was some bullshit. Them going to breakfast, then going to the wedding. Oh no, they didn't even go to the wedding because I think they found out that the man, the sister's fiance was a cheater. So shit, she didn't even get married. But I think they just hung out with her family. Whatever. They did all that. He went to go see his family. Blah, 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 blah. The last, like, hour was so pointless to me. It pissed me off. Like, I wanted this to just end. But I had to see what else was going to go on. Because, I had made it that far. But that ending was so whack. Now, when I just looked at it on my StoryGraph, I see that it's a series, that this is a series, and this is book number 1. So maybe that's why the ending was kind of like whack, because they building up for book number 2. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. It took them 7.5 hours, 8 hours to hook up. And the last hour and a half was like whack as hell. Like, I was so mad about that. Like, how they should have did it is, first of all, they should have added some more conflict. I feel like it wasn't enough conflict. It was like, okay, besides him lying about his damn name and being the author of this book, what else is going on? Okay, your sisters keep setting you up on dates with guys. Okay, what else? Like, it wasn't enough conflict. It was giving Hallmark. Hallmark movies, how it don't be no conflict for real. Be like, he's emotionally unavailable because his dad has, PTSD from the war. And so that's why he unavailable. It's like, what? This don't even make sense. That's how it was given. Like, and then they try to make it be like, oh, he don't want to be with her because she's such a good guy, a good woman, and he's a bad guy. And his badness was that his daddy used to make him steal when he was a kid, or make him be the lookout when he would steal from people. Boy, what? Excuse me, what? That's it? First of all, you was a kid. You couldn't do shit about that. You had to do what your daddy told you to do. Okay, boom, whatever. That's number 1. Number 2, what the hell they got to do with you being in a relationship with this woman? Like, he ain't had no baggage. He ain't had no baby mamas. He ain't on no child support. He wasn't, violent. He wasn't nothing. It was just like, I just don't think I'm good enough for you because when I was, 15, my daddy picked me up from school and made me be the lookout while he stole some money from his friend. Okay. And your point is what exactly? It was kind of lackluster with the conflict. And I ain't saying, because I used to read them little hood romance books, and the men in them books used to be like, God, why do you want to be with him? Like, what? He horrible. I ain't saying it had to be nothing like that, but it could have been a little, some tumultuous. You know what I'm saying? He got a long lost kid or something. I don't know. And then what a coincidence that out of everywhere in fucking New York got a lot of apartments. Out of every apartment in New York, he ended up living in her apartment, or rather, she lived in his apartment because she don't even live there. Technically, she's staying with her sister. So that's another whole thing. It's like, you wasn't even supposed to be here. You was supposed to be somewhere else, but you staying with your sister for a little minute. And yeah, you meet this man who you used to talk to on the internet, and just so happened in real life he fine as hell, got a little couple dollars, and he got a good personality. Ain't nothing really wrong with him for real. Right, y'all be making these books too unrealistic. And then if you're gonna make it unrealistic, go all the way out. Like, do the most. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying it gotta be smutty where every 2 pages they having sex or whatever, but for the simple fact that they hooked up in the last hour and a half out of 10 hours of an audiobook, clean pissed me the fuck off. They should have hooked up at the mama house. That would at least been a little juicy. Like, oh, they snuck and did it at the mama house. She a little bad too, cause she's supposed to be all wholesome and stuff. They could have played it like, see, she got a little bad in her. No, like, we just gonna hold off. They kissed on the first damn day that they met, that they finally talked to each other. They kissed, and then that was it for 7 hours. So, yeah, that's my review on that book. What was it called? The Neighbor Favor. I probably will not read the rest of the series because, like I said, I'm not a big romance girl, and it wasn't even worth a second book. I mean, a second read for me. It was another book like that. It was like called Real Man Knit or something like that. And it was like, that one was a little bit better. And I read it, I liked it. And so I was like, okay, let me read part 2. Let me read the second book in the series. The second book, they had changed the whole damn characters. It was about another one of the brothers. I'm like, y'all took for the whole book for them to finally hook up or get together. And then you go, book 2 ain't even about them. It's about somebody else. Y'all get on my nerves. So, yeah, that's probably what they're going to do in this book 2. Who knows? So, all right, I didn't finish my hair because it's hard. I don't see how people be doing this, talking or get ready with me or doing whatever and talking at the same time. I move way faster when I'm not doing that. So, I'm going to finish the rest of this off camera, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.